What's up, guys? Welcome back to BlockHash Exploring the Blockchain. It is bright and early, 6 a.m. here in Medellin, Colombia, episode 267. Today, I have James Woe. He is the CEO of DFG, here to talk about some of their strategic investments and what they are doing. James, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing good, thank you, and nice meeting you, everyone.
I'm sure it's a pleasure to meet you as well, and happy to have you here. A bunch of stuff I want to chat with you about. Before we do, tell the audience and myself a bit more about you. What's your story? What's your background? How did you get into this space? What did you do prior? And what's your journey kind of been like?
Sure, happy to do so. So I'm basically investor in the crypto industry for 7 years. So before entering the crypto space, I'm just like a student at university. So I just start trading Bitcoin back to 2013 and 2014. Then I suddenly think this is very interesting because the volatility is so high as compared to the traditional financial industry. So I really decide to start DFG back to 2015. So my family support me a lot from the very beginning. At that time, they gave me like $20 million to start, just purely investing into different crypto companies. So unlike the other fund, we don't have any outside LPs. So luckily, we've been very early investing into a bunch of active first, like a company like Brave, Circle, LedgerX, Bezos. Then after 2017 and 2018, we decided to invest into a lot of layer one protocol, getting pretty early into a few good ones like Polkadot, Near, Solana, and Avalanche. So luckily, we've been success about doing this investment in both equity and tokens. So right now we are managed somewhere like $1 billion, pretty diversified portfolios with a lot of assets on the secondary market, and we keep doing our investment. Separately, there's one small fund also established last year together with my schoolmate Joanna. So that's called J Square. That's $100 million fund, also a private company. So we don't raise on LLP, but that fund is more flexible and focused more specifically on the Web3 adoptions like GameFi, Metaverse, and NFT stuff. So that's basically the story about me.
Awesome. So with DFG, it's an investment firm that you own, correct?
Yes.
What's the primary goal and mission? What do you guys aim to invest in, or what do you guys invest in?
Yeah, our mission is probably to kind of supporting different great teams and founders in this industry. So we think this is still at relatively early stage for crypto industry. There's tons of things we can do in this industry, right? We can see from the last bull run, not only about the layer one protocols infrastructure, but also different kind of application came up, GameFi, DeFi's, NFTs, whatever. All these kind of things are more related to people's daily life. So there's a lot of things we can do about Web3 adoption of cryptos. There has to be a lot of great teams, great founders establish different kind of projects to do so. So our job, our mission is supporting them. So we by making investment and giving them different resources. So that's where we are right now. So our goal is like, of course, we want to grow a much bigger, much diversified portfolio, but supporting them is really the key for us to being very sustainable in the crypto industry.
Do you guys have a plan to grow more? Because you talked about wanting to grow that portfolio. Is that just investing in other companies in the space and growing slowly over time, or do you want to take in outside investment into the company at some point? What do some of those plans look like?
Yeah, great question. So our strategy, I think, make it private is already enough. Because I think there's a lot of VCs, great VCs, raising a lot of capitals to manage other people's money. But for us, we want to keep it private. I think there are a couple of reasons. The first is AUM already $1 billion, so it's already big enough for us to manage. The second is really about, we can make it very flexible about what things we can do. If you're raising outside capital, there's a lot of limitation about, the period and what kind of things you can invest, right? So this is really good things about making it private, so we can supporting whatever things we want to do. For example, we can buy DOT on the secondary market. In the meantime, we can invest into other kind of project in the private market. So keeping it very flexible is actually good for us and good for us to make different decisions about supporting the project we like. So this is really the plan right now. So we don't have any plan about raising outside capital. but we are taking a more balanced strategy on the secondary market and primary market. So we are definitely allocating most of our fund on the secondary market, and but we were also taking a close eye on what kind of things happen in the private market and which active deals we can invest before listing, which token deals we can invest before listing, and then we want to supporting them. So right now we are trying to supporting less team, but increase our ticket size and try to get more involvement into the project we like. So this is really our strategy is like slightly different than the last bull market.
Awesome. Yeah, I also saw that you guys invest pretty heavily into the Polkadot ecosystem, more or less than anywhere else. Is it because of a personal interest? Did you like that ecosystem the best? Is it just happenstance? Why invest so much in Polkadot and that ecosystem what they're building over there?
Yeah, great question. So for us, I think we were definitely the top two institutional investors in the Polkadot space. I believe both DFG and the Polychain are really very heavily involved into Polkadot. I just want to say on the layer one side, on the infrastructure side, there's two things which make a lot of sense and are crucial to the industry. One is one is definitely the scalability issue, right? So people are trying to solve the scalability issue from all the time, right? For the 2017, we have a lot of coins try to fork Bitcoin, and Ethereum try to solve the scalability issues of Bitcoin and Ethers. And also in the last bull run, we also have Solana's, Avalanche, and Ethereum layer 2 is trying to solve the problem. So that's one dimension that we can be focused on with the scalability issues, which is definitely important to the crypto industry. But the other dimension is really, I believe most of people today agree with a multi-chain future, and a lot of chains should coexist for a long time. So how to solve the interoperability between the chains? By the way, how to solve, how to find out the great cross-chain solutions really also the importance, the other important dimension of the crypto industry. So we can see Cosmos and Polkadot are definitely, two potential solutions right now. So on that dimension, which is important, and Polkadot have very good fundamentals, great teams, great technology, and I think that's was investing at least was taking a look and was investing. So that's really the whole picture about infrastructure and layer ones why we bullish on Polkadot. Separately, I think the good things is tech risk definitely very, very strong. Team or Parity team and Website Foundation definitely very strong among all the layer one protocols. The downside for Polkadot is probably the learning curve of Substrate, right? It's actually slightly difficult for a new developer to learn in Substrate, so that's one barrier for that. The other is really about the economy cost, right? If you running for a parachain, then it costs you some money. So these are two the barrier, but compared to what is good for Polkadot about its vision and about ability to realize a vision, I think these two are small things. So that's why from a whole picture, we are still bullish on this protocol.
Got it. Makes a bunch of sense. When you guys are looking to make an investment into a project, what metrics do you guys use to filter out these companies? Because there's so many of them, so many startups, so many projects. How do you guys, or what do you guys use to filter these companies and projects and startups in your mind to determine if it's a good investment or not a good investment? Do you have a strategy for that?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. I think for us, we to be honest, at this stage, I think the quality of the project we see is much higher than the bull market, because the bull market, there's plenty of different kind of project. You cannot tell whether that's a good project or not. There's so many projects can raise a lot of money. So it's very hard for even us, of course, a retail investor to tell whether that's a good project or not, right? So, but right now, since very few projects can raise enough fund, so that's really increased a lot for the quality of the project these days. So I'm happy to actually see that. For us, I think the first criteria is, of course, there's a lot of people will talk about team, about product, about others. The first criteria for me today is really whether you do the project, whether what you do, does that make sense at all? So that's really the first criteria. If you are doing something which even doesn't make any sense, maybe you are finding some angles in the industry, but that doesn't make any sense in the long term, then it's not going to work out. So that's really the number one criteria here. What you should do is making sense. The second is really about innovation. So whether you do is, you're just trying to using the existing model and trying to competing with the top player in this in this specific sector with the resources and product you have, that's going to work. But you have to go become the top three in this sector, then it will kind of give you a lot of return, right? But if you enter into a sector which has been verified, then it's easy to calculate whether it's a good investment or not. But usually this type of investment is more stable, but not going to give you a very high return. The other investment we do is slightly more risky, which is, you are doing something which makes sense, but the business model haven't been verified yet. So this is really something very, very interesting. There's a lot of, great kind of project in the last bull run, like Axie, like Stefan, are this type of investment. The business model hasn't been verified, but it makes sense. They're super risky. Maybe one of the 10 will be successful. Then how to define this kind of project and whether this will succeed is really something worth thinking about. So all these two type of investment make sense for us. For us, we were taking a more balanced strategy, investing to both type of the product, but just trying to balance a little bit, not just investing one type of them. So this is really our strategy these days as an investor. But I really suggest people to figure out, which type of things you are doing right now. So in these two categories.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Good breakdown of it as well, because there's always a lot of dynamics that you got to look at when you're investing into someone or into a project or into something specific, and just vetting them in general. It's really important. What about crypto more specifically? Like, do you guys invest directly into the tokens or the coins as well? Do you hold positions in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, stuff like that, or do you just focus on investing into the companies? How diverse are you?
Yeah, we will do both equity and tokens. A lot of VCs right now these days, they are not doing equity deals unless they are giving a token warrants, but we are different. If you are doing C5 license stuff just with equity, maybe go to list like Coinbase or Circle, that works for us. We'll invest as well. But we are definitely more interested in investing to tokens. Definitely we are holding a lot of coins on the secondary market like Bitcoin, Ether, even Grayscale, Bitcoin as GBTC, we are holding that as well. And of course, we are holding a lot of DOT. So our strategy is trying to kind of be more diversified since we're already rich that level, trying to be more diversified, investing to whatever makes sense in the crypto industry. I think that's going to help us and help the industry as well.
Why do you think VCs aren't investing into crypto coins as much, but you guys are? Well, what's the difference? Why don't they do it?
Yeah, I think the first is about one obvious difference. We don't have LPs, they have LPs, right? So they have different terms about what things they can do, right? Maybe they are raising a token fund, they tell their LPs I'm going to invest into tokens. So this is really their terms. So we are being flexible about what we can do. So this is really one obvious difference about investing to different type of project. The second is really about the size of the fund. If you're raising like a only $30 or $50 million fund, then it probably makes sense for you to just invest into tokens. Because equity deal usually, they are really really giant like players can survive in the market. So multi-billion-dollar company, they are raising like $100 million or more. It doesn't make a lot of sense for this small fund to kind of because for the small fund, the growth is really the most important thing. So liquidity is important. So they probably will focus more on the token investment. So I think these two things are really different. One is about the term, and the second is really about the size of the fund.
Okay, got it. Are you guys domiciled in Singapore or somewhere else?
Oh, we've been like decentralized. I guess our team is but our headquarters is here. I'm here, but I have a team. We got a team in US, China as well, and Dubai as well. So we've been pretty decentralized, I would say.
So do you not have a physical company for this, or is it all decentralized?
Oh, physical company. We do have an office in Singapore. We do
Okay.
have physical companies, but our team is just decentralized.
Is it pretty open in Singapore to have a firm or a fund like this to invest into crypto? And have you faced any kind of pushback, or is there any issue doing it there, like taxes or regulations or anything that kind of holds you back versus maybe like the US or another major country?
Great question. I think overall speaking, Singapore is very friendly to crypto. I mean, two cities in Asia, one Singapore, one Dubai. These are very, very friendly to crypto, which are very, very smart, I would say. For us, we don't have a problem like that because we are more like a family office, so we don't raise any outside LP. If you are raising outside fund, probably you're gonna get a license in Singapore, then operating fund. That's a much smarter way to do that. For us, we don't have a problem like that. But I would say Singapore is really a good place for crypto and for fund. So if you're operating a crypto fund, you're interested in doing that, I mean, Singapore is definitely one choice for you.
Okay, so you don't need a license if you're doing it as a family office, correct?
Yeah, we don't need a license.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and you guys maybe at some point plan to open it up to outside money because you guys want to grow, or do you want to keep it as, small as possible or with, internal funds?
Yeah, I think at this stage or in the next few years, I don't think we are going to raise any outside capital because we just want to be very, very flexible about what we can do. And the size of fund already big enough for us to manage. So that's really the plan right now.
Okay, got it. One more question, we'll start wrapping it up. But what do you think in your guys' opinion, since you guys are the ones investing in this industry pretty heavily, what is your outlook on the markets right now within the crypto space? It's been a crazy 9 or 12 months. It's seen all-time highs. It's, a lot of things have come down 80, 90% in some situations. Is this cyclical to you guys? You think that it's just, gonna go back up at some point and, things go through cycles? Is this one different in any kind of way? And then what are some of the drivers do you think that are pushing it down or that could push it up in the near future?
Yeah, great question. I think this is the third bear market I have right now. So we've been seeing, Bitcoin and Ether down like 95% for the last bear market, for the previous bear market. So we see that, so we're okay with it. I think based on the previous experience, the bear market, the bull market cycle, bear market cycle, it's all about 2 years, right? So if you're using the previous experience, it's all about 2 years. But I think things are slightly different here for this bear market because I think crypto industry overall become much bigger. So it's the correlation between the monetary policies and economies and the crypto industry become much stronger. So one part of the trigger is of course what kind of innovation we have in the crypto industry, what kind of problem like scalability issues, whatever the problem of layer one protocol we can solve. They increase a lot of the ability for the infrastructure of crypto, right? So this is really one part of the trigger is really the crypto itself, how good it develops. The other is really about the overall economy. Right now these days, if Fed is being aggressive, then it's pretty hard for crypto to have a bull market very soon. My predictions, I'm actually more bullish in the market than other people. My prediction is the second half of next year, we will probably see the beginning of the bull market. That's my prediction. But of course, I can be wrong.
No. I think you might be right about that. I think sometime middle to late next year is, when things will really start to turn around again, because we've already been, down for the past year and a half. So, if it's 2-year cycle, we're fairly into that already. So I wouldn't be surprised to see things at least bottom out and start to find like some even ground for a while. What about the upcoming Ethereum merge? Do you guys have any opinions on, what effect that could have on the market, it's pretty significant because you're talking about a $19 billion mining industry predominantly on the Ethereum network that is now going to either implode or move somewhere else. And then Ethereum being able to have more TVL, total value locked on their chain, could be a really big thing. It could be a non-nomer. It could, who knows what happens, but it's going to be very interesting come middle of September. Any thoughts on that event and if it's significant or not?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of, on the tech side, it's going to be very smooth. I think because it's just easy, right? So if you check the code of the SN 2.0, it should be easy. So I'm pretty sure on the tech side it should be very, very smooth. The problem is, of course, I mean, on the token side, I think I think the one direct impact is like we don't have the miners dump the coins, right? Once they mining the coins, they dump the coin. So we got a lot of Ethereum going to lock into the kind of different nodes, and that will kind of also reduce the sale pressure of Ethereum network. So this is really a very, very positive, I think, kind of signal for the Ethereum network and the whole market. The problem is, like, since we are overall in a bear market, then it's already the good news, the good signals pressed in the last kind of bounce back of the Ethereum price. That's really the things we need to think about.
Got it. Where can people go to follow what you guys do with DFG and you guys' portfolio and your investments? Do you guys have a community? Can they just go to the website? Where do you want to direct people?
Yes. You can always reach out to DFG by Twitter or by myself. So myself is easy. At Real James Wall on Twitter, Telegram. You can always reach out to us, or you can send an email to DFG website. To DFG, that's on the website. This www.dfg.group.
Awesome, guys. Go check out DFG. Go check out James. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. James, thank you for taking the time to come on the show. Been fantastic. Really appreciate it, especially the time there and the time here. Yeah, keep us posted on everything you guys are doing, new investments, new things added to your portfolio, new thoughts on the industry and the market. Would love to have you on again in the future.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, anytime. Take care. Have a good evening, and let's talk soon.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.